Okay, we're going to go over this adding and subtracting integers maze. So I'm going to use it using a number line because that's how I actually do it in my mind as I look at this stuff. So as I look at the very first problem we have, is -8 plus 2. So if I start at the number line, and the cool thing about using number lines is I don't have to write all the numbers out. I just have to pick one of them. For instance, I'm going to pick this one here, and I'm going to make this one right here -8. So now I'm going to add 2. So I'm going to start here in the positive direction, and I'm going to add 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So it's -7, -6. So my answer here happens to be -6. So that's the direction that I'm going to be going there. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Go to the next question. -9 plus a -8. We start here. We go to the next one. And this one here is, I'm going to make this one here a -9. This guy here is going to be -9. And then I'm going to add -8. So this is our positive side. This is our negative side. When we add a negative to a negative, we're going to be more negative. So I'm going to actually make it, and we're going to actually go in that direction. So I'm going to move that 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was a -8. Now we can see what this is. So this one here is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's a -17. So let's look at our possible answers. We're going to move up in this direction, a -17, which will put us at the -5. So let's erase this here. So now I've got -5 minus 5. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make this guy here -5. I'm going to subtract 5. So again, that's our negative direction there. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, this is -6, -7, -8, -9, -10. So let's look at all the possible answers here. We're actually going to move in this direction here, a -10. Now I have 6 plus a -8. That is extremely similar to the one we did over here, except I'm not going to start at a -9. I'm going to start off at 6, and I'm going to add a -8. Now that's similar to 6 minus 8. So I'm just going to actually move that, into another direction, in the negative direction, I mean. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. So it is a -2. So now I can go ahead and look at 7 minus 18. Now 18 is a pretty big number, so I'm going to put my 7 over here so I can subtract 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to stop here at 7. The reason why I'm going to stop here at 7 is because that would be 0. So I started at 7 and I went in the negative direction 7. So that would put me at 0. So I did 7. And I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's 18. So now I've got -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11. So that would be my -11, this one over here. So now I have 9 plus a -2, which would be the same as 9 minus 2. So here I start at 9, I subtract 2, I go in the negative direction 2. I'm going to actually put that to where you can see it. So I've got 9 minus 2. So that's 9, and I'm going to go in the negative direction 2, which would put me at 7. So if I look here, this one here is 7. Now let's go ahead and start at -6, and I'm going to add a -9. In other words, it's going to become more negative. So I'm actually going to move in the negative direction. So I start here at -6, and I'm going to move 9 in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, one other thing we can do without the number line is remember that since these are both the same, but I just add the numbers together and keep the sign. So I'm going to have a negative 9 plus 6, which would be a negative 14, which would be negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 13, negative 14, negative 15. And good thing I did that. I checked myself, and there is a negative 15, which is good because there's no negative 14 in here. So I would have caught myself. So I'm actually going to go here. Now I'm going to start at negative 9, and I'm going to add 6 to negative 9. So I've got negative 9. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I'm adding 6. So I'm going to go in the positive direction. So it's negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. So if I check this one here, I do have a negative 3 here. So now I end up with negative 4 plus 12. Now these signs are different. So another way to do it is this. If the signs are different, we can actually just subtract them. And I can just say 12 minus 4, which happens to be 8. And since 12 is farther from 0, I'm going to keep that positive number. So that would actually be a positive 8. Now, if we were to check it here, here's my negative 4, and I'm going to move in the positive direction, 12. Move this up farther, move in the positive direction, 12. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That makes it at negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I was correct. So I'm actually going to come back up into this direction, 8. You thought we were going to go down here and be finished, didn't you? So now we need to go negative 3 plus 2. So let's check out that negative 3 plus 2. So I got a negative 3, and I'm going to add 2, which means I'm going to go in the positive direction, 1, 2, which gives me a negative 2, negative 1. So in this case here, we're going to be moving in this direction, negative 1. Now I have 8 minus 12. So if I start here at 8, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to stop there because that's 0. Then I'm going to go 9, 10, 11, 12, which makes this negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So I happen to go over here to negative 4. Now I'm going to go over here to negative 2 minus 18. Now these two, since we're subtracting them, we're actually going to make it more negative. So if I picture I'm here at negative 2, and I'm going to subtract, I'm going to go in that direction, 20. Whoops, not 20. We're going to go 18 in that direction, which will get us all the way down here to negative 20. So I now have negative 20. So now I'm here at negative 12 plus 14. So since these signs are different, if I subtract them, 14 minus 12, I get 2. And since 14 is farthest from 12, or so 14 is the farthest from 0, we're actually going to have a positive 2. So this guy here is a positive 2 here. Now I have 12 minus a negative 12. One of the cool things here is when I minus a negative, that is going to just change it to a positive. So now I have negative 12 plus 12. So if I start here at negative 12, and I go that direction 12, I'm going to end up at 0. Because I have a positive 12 and a negative 12, they're going to cancel each other out, and I'm going to end up with a 0. As I mentioned before, I have a minus minus here. So I'll make that plus plus. So I have a negative 2. Oh, sorry, let's go up a little bit higher. So I have a negative 2 plus 7. So make this a negative 2. I'm going to add 7. 1, 2. Remember that 0. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer here is 5. And we can either go up this way or over this way, so the answer would be negative 6. But if we want to check it, this actually minus a negative means plus plus. So I'm going to have a negative 8 plus 2. 1, 2, because I'm moving in the positive direction, so it's negative 7, negative 6. So that happens to be our path as we start through here, go down, we're going to go up, over, back down, over, through. And then, oops, all the way across. So you can kind of see the pattern that follows through there. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. You can kind of see the pattern, what it's supposed to look like there.